Hello young friends, this video is being brought to you by Rao Scientific Society. So the series of videos which we are going to show you will help you to understand the fundamental scientific principles which you see around you, and it will help you to develop friendship with science. Hello friends, here we have a very interesting demonstration known as Galileo's thermometer. You are familiar with small handheld thermometers. The fundamental principle in measurement of temperature is that we have to look at a physical property which changes with temperature. In the case of the normal mercury thermometer, it is the thermal expansion of mercury which changes with temperature. So we look at the length of a mercury column and then find out its temperature. In the case of Galileo's thermometer, what happens is that the density of the liquid changes as the temperature rises. And you know that for any liquid, normally it expands as it gets heated up. And with expansion, what happens is that the density decreases. And how do we find out the density change? So for that, we have these small objects. Now look carefully inside this Galileo's thermometer. We have these small bulbs which are objects made of glass with some liquid inside. It's not very important for us to know what are those different colored liquids. They are just of different color for easy detection, but you have liquid and then the vapor around it, and the density of these objects have been adjusted by placing these metallic pieces below them. So you see that some bulbs are floating here. So for example, these two, whereas others are not floating. So what determines whether an object floats or sinks is its density relative to the water. If an object as a whole has a density less than that of water, it will float. And if it has a density greater than that of water, it will sink. So as the temperature rises, what is going to happen is that the density of this liquid, which is not, by the way, not water, but could be ethanol or some liquid like that, whose density changes more with temperature than that of water. So what is going to happen as the temperature rises? What is going to happen is that the density of this liquid is going to decrease further, and then if this decreases, so relative to this liquid, the density of the other objects which are here does not vary that much with temperature. So therefore, even these objects are going to sink. Whereas if the temperature goes down, then what is going to happen is that the density of this liquid is going to increase. And if it increases, there will come a point where the density of this liquid will be greater than the density of some of these objects at the bottom, and they are going to float up. So by looking carefully at the objects which are floating and those which are not floating, we can in fact calibrate this instrument and then find out the temperature. But the precise quantitative nature of that requires a detailed study, which of course we are not going to do in this particular video. But a careful study of this, that is in terms of the number of objects which are floating and which are not floating, can tell you very precisely what is the temperature of this liquid. So this is one way of measuring the temperature. Of course, nowadays we have more sophisticated methods of determining temperature which are more accurate, but in Galileo's time, perhaps this was state of the art. And this also tells us one more way of measuring temperature which we probably are not doing currently. That's it for now. Thank you.